Try to oppose the United States. I want to be clear to those who wish to do us harm. I want to be clear to those around the world who want to destroy our way of life and that of our allies and friends. The United States military, despite all our challenges, despite our op-tempo, despite everything we've been doing, will stop you and we will beat you harder than you've ever been beaten before. Make no mistake about that. Recently, a senior Russian official, ambassador to the United Kingdom, Alexander Karamenko, he said, quote, "The established world order is undergoing a foundational shakeup with the Crimea, Ukraine, and Brexit." He went on to call for the dismantling of NATO and the European Union. And he said, quote, "Russia can now fight a conventional war in Europe and win. Russia is the only country that will remain relevant forever. Any other country is dispensable, and that includes the United States. We are endgame now," end quote. We can now, and we will remain in the future, retain the capability to rapidly deploy, and we will destroy any enemy, anywhere, anytime.
Those are the stark words of Mark Miley, the Army Chief of Staff here in America. And I thought, that is a good way to open the report because they're very stark words. First of all, he says no one screws with the United States of America and we will beat them down. Then he goes on to report how a leading Russian official is calling for the dismantling of the New World Order, basically, and that includes the United Nations and NATO. He wants to dismantle, he wants to take them down. I'm all for taking down, getting the UN. The UN shouldn't be there. That's my personal belief. I don't believe that the UN should have anything to do with America or any other country for that matter. It's a New World Order globalist organization. And so they called for the dismantling this. And then they went on to say, reportedly, that, they will go against any country that stands in their way. Europe, America, and all of that. Crazy things that we are hearing right now from the mainstream media, and specifically in regards to, World War III. Now, this speech comes on the heels of a breaking report just released and basically officially blamed Russia for the DNC hackings. Let me take you to that report. So here on the website that you see here, it's a government website. It says Joint Department of Homeland Security and ODNI Election Security Statement. And this was released again October 7th there. And it says the U.S. Intelligence Committee is confident that the Russian government directed the recent compromises of emails from U.S. persons and institutions, including U.S. political organizations. The recent disclosure of alleged hacked emails on sites like DCleaks.com and WikiLeaks, that's your Julian Assange, and by Guccifer 2.0 online Persa, are consistent with the methods and motives of Russian-directed efforts. These thefts and disclosures are intended to interfere with the U.S. election process. Wow. So not only are they saying this DNC links are 100%, so to speak, the fault of Russia, but also Russia trying to guide the election one way or the other. And in this case, the election would be, he's going for, who else? Donald Trump. And of course, not Hillary Clinton. But there they go on to say, such activity is not new to Moscow. The Russians have been similar tactics and techniques across Europe and Eurasia, for example, to influence public opinion there. We believe, based on the scope and sensitivity of these efforts, that only Russia's senior-most officials could have authorized these activities. They go on to say, some states have recently seen scanning and probing of their election-related systems, which in most cases originated from servers operated by a Russian company, though the government cannot blame the Russian government, our government. The USIC and the Department of Homeland Security assesses that it would be extremely difficult for someone, including a nation-state actor, to alter actual ballot counts or election results by cyber attack or intrusion. This assessment is based on the decentralized nature of our election system in this country and the number of protections state and local election officials have in place. States ensure that voting machines are not connected to the internet, and there are numerous checks and balances in place, and yada, yada, yada. Wow. So there you have it. Here we have Mark Miley making a bold statement about things that are coming in. Yeah, I'm all for, standing for American principles, beating down anyone who comes against America. I get it. I'm there. But there is also the report of Russia and how all of a sudden now the hacks are officially blamed in a bulletin that was released on a government website. Now, that's not the only thing. Also, what you see on the screen here is a report released by Defense One. Now, just a quick thing. You remember in a report, YouTube video I put out just a little bit ago, where I said there were 40 million people who did a drill and conducted a drill there in Russia. Well, in response to that drill that was conducted by Russia, the United States of America, Defense One, have dropped, U.S. Air Force has dropped 2 fake nukes in order to, practice. Well, according to the report, and this was October 6, 2016, the tests in the Nevada desert, come as tensions rise with Russia and the Pentagon seeks to replace its aging nuclear arsenal. A pair of U.S. Air Force B-2 bombers dropped 700-pound fake nuclear bombs in the middle of the desert within the past few days, and now the Pentagon wants to talk to you about it. Now, why did they do that? According to the report, it had to do with tensions in Russia and the fact that they conducted a massive military drill preparing the citizens for war. That's your 40-man military drill. And that's why our government has prepared and dropped fake nukes to practice. So what do we see going on here? Well, lots of things are going down. Is the globalists or are the governments preparing for the death of millions? I mean, really, it's a question that needs to be asked. What are they preparing for? Why is Russia continuing to be provoked? And now they're making bold stances back in return. And, we need to keep a close eye on this on a daily basis, especially knowing what the Bible has to say about it. And as a Christian, I got to share that part because it's huge. And here we have the Russian bear being provoked. We have fake nukes being dropped. We have a 40 million man drill being conducted in Russia. And now we have an official statement, from our government there, stating that, Russia is to blame for the DNC hacks. Crazy times in which we are living in. And then we have a general warning. Anyhow, I wanted to bring you all the latest information on that. Please make sure you are prepared. Make sure you are storing up food. Foodforliberty.com/Haven is my partner here. And make sure you're prepped and ready because we could be looking at World War III very soon here. Tensions are rising and I know the election is underway. And here they're even painting Donald Trump basically in a bad light saying, they leaked it in order to get Donald Trump elected. Although Donald Trump's name was not issued on that bulletin, that's what it says because they want their globalist candidate. They want Hillary as their person. And I can guarantee you that I will be watching the debate tomorrow. All eyes on election, all eyes on Russia. And keep in mind, whoever is our next president, if Hillary gets in, you can guarantee we're going to have tensions with Russia. If Donald Trump gets in, I'm a little more hopeful that we won't have those tensions with Russia because there is a relationship there. Please keep that in mind when you vote. And I'm kind of pins and needles to watch the next debate tomorrow night as well. Also, please make sure you are checking out my other sponsor at getthetea.com. I could not do what I do here and feel the way I do if it wasn't for his super strength tea. The product is absolutely amazing. I cannot tell you how much it has changed my life. I actually hand out packs of these teas. My friends will all tell you. So every once in a while, I give them to my friend because I believe in the product. And, it's huge. It's definitely done a huge number on my person. Anyhow, thanks again for tuning in. This is Lisa Haven signing off.